Hey, what's up guys? So with the new patch coming out here pretty soon, I wanted to take some time and kind of review over the new changes and how they're going to affect bot lane. And there's really not a lot of changes honestly for this patch for bot lane. Most everything that's being changed is mid laners, so we don't see a lot of changes bot lane, but there's a few that I do want to go over here. And the really big change here that's on this patch for bot lane is the Caitlyn nerf, and Riot is really trying to get Caitlyn out of the meta completely. This nerf is a little ridiculous in my opinion. She's already been hurt so bad over the last few patches, and this just makes her even way more worse than what she was before. So the nerf that looks like it's gonna come through is, the first one is that they're gonna be nerfing Caitlyn's Q and the damage that it does to the targets after the first target hit. So before, all targets after the first used to do 67% damage of what it should be, and now it's getting nerfed down to 50% damage, and that's 17%. That's a pretty significant nerf, especially with how Caitlyn's already been hurting a lot lately anyway. They're also going to be nerfing the damage of her traps. Early game they're going to be nerfing it pretty significantly. Late game it's going to be the same. They're also reducing the AD ratio off the traps also, so the base damage is going to be less on your headshots, as well as the AD ratio when you do get items, it's going to make it to hurt a lot less also. And I think these together with the Q nerf is just a little insane to me. With how bad she's been and how many other viable options there are for late game carries right now, there's really no reason to play Caitlyn anymore. So after months of Caitlyn being just the #1 top carry and everybody being abused by these Caitlyn mains, I think she's finally definitely gone for good now. There's so many better options that you can play if you want to play a late game style AD carry. So hello Tristana, I guess. So the only other change that's really happening for this patch that's directly impacting bot lane is going to be the changes to Ancient Coin. And so the change that is coming through is now, instead of when you pick up that coin you receive 15% of your missing mana, now you're only receiving 10% of the missing mana, which that's I think enough to knock some of these supports out of the meta. Like Sona, I think Sona's been a little too strong with the Ancient Coin. I've seen some Sorakas lately because they can abuse the Ancient Coin and always having mana. So I think this is going to promote a more diverse support meta pool, and we're going to see some more Alistairs. I think Braum will be coming back here soon. I think Braum's always a really strong pick. So we'll see if this kind of knocks out some of these support champions that we've seen the last few patches. And so some of the other changes that are happening this patch that might affect us being squishy AD carries is Fizz is getting a buff, which I always hate it when Fizz is in the meta. He's so annoying to deal with. Syndra is getting a little bit of a nerf. LeBlanc's getting a little bit of a nerf. So some of these assassins we might be seeing less of here, but a lot of mid lane nerfs that have been coming out lately. So we'll see if that impacts their ability to roam down to bot and have all of these bot lane parties that have been happening lately. And the only other change that happened through this patch that I think is worth mentioning here is the change to Vi and her ult cooldown. Her ult cooldown is getting decreased here, so we're going to see a lot more Vi's in the meta right now, which is okay with the tank meta. I don't like playing against Vi being an AD carry main, just because of how easily she can get to you and close such a huge distance and lock you up for her team to follow up and ultimately kill you within a few seconds. I don't like having to play against that. It feels like there's not a lot of counterplay against a good Vi who gets really strong, but we'll see how this ends up. I don't think this will be too bad for us. I think that with the tank meta we'll have some good front lines to hide behind, so we'll see how this change turns out for AD carries, but that's about it for this patch. Like they said in the patch notes, this patch was mostly directed towards professional play with Worlds coming up soon. I think Worlds coming up soon is going to have a big impact on the meta. It always does. People will watch Worlds and say, wow, that champion's really strong, and try to play it all the time, so expect to see a lot of people playing new champions coming up soon. But Worlds is always a really fun time during League of Legends, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it with these next patches here and Worlds starting up soon, so we'll see how the meta shapes up here. And with that, that's all that I have to say here. So if you have made it to the end, I really appreciate you sticking around here. If you liked the video, please definitely go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And good luck with your upcoming ranked games.